celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it.
So the marketing executive who tried to turn Bud Light into a transgender advocacy group is taking a leave of absence. There she is on your screen. And now a former Anheuser-Busch executive says there's still time for the company to redeem itself by ditching stakeholder capitalism. Let's bring in Strive Asset Management co-founder and president Anson Frericks this morning. Anson, great to see you this morning. I think we have to take one moment to look backwards before we look forwards. How did this happen? How do you ostracize a brand that you built over half a century and the core audience you built in line with that brand? How do you do that? What is stakeholder capitalism?
Of course. So it's no surprise the brand is down double digits over the last couple of weeks. I don't think anybody's necessarily happy that Bud Light, a traditionally apolitical brand, partnered with somebody who's very controversial. And that's one of the problems we're in the situation that we are. And one of the reasons that Anheuser-Busch has started to make moves to move beyond their current marketing team. That being said, there's a more fundamental problem that's going on right now.
How's it going, everybody? Wired here. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful Thursday. And you know, I'm thinking about renaming my channel something like the Bud Light channel, because it seems to be like 70-80% of the stories I actually cover have to do with Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light. However, I think this is a very key issue. I think this is the best pushback for the conservative and moderates against this woke ideology. And I'm happy to keep bringing you stories about it. And there's things unfolding literally every single day about it. Bud Light is still down, like, I think it's like 17%, or I did a story about it yesterday. It was 17%. It might be more now, might be less now. But this boycott is going strong. It started on April 1st. It is now April 27th, so 27 days. And it's going strong. And people are feeling the heat from it. I did another story of the Vegas Strip. I'm sure bars all over, distributors are canceling their Bud Light orders. However, some people aren't really on board with this boycott. And this is what this story is about, coming to you from Fox News. Bar loses customers after warning patrons it will not tolerate intolerance among guests about Bud Light. Which I think that's, in layman's terms, listen, we're woke and we don't want to hear you complain about this. You don't have a right to complain about this in our bar. And to that I would say, that's totally fine. It's your establishment. Do what you want. Lose money. Go out of business. It worked really well for Anheuser-Busch. They're only down 17%. That's not that much. It could be worse. It could be like 20-25%. Maybe when it's 50%, they'll get the memo. So keep the boycott up. But I want to get into this article here because it's fascinating. Some people learn, some people don't. The bar noted that it has lost some of our regulars after a statement disavowing critics of Bud Light and said that we still need more customers to replace them. Wow. It's like their actions had consequences. I'm amazed. It's 2023. That's not supposed to happen. But hey, we've achieved wokeness and we're coming around the other end here. The Fairfax Bar and Grill in Indiana alienated some of its patrons after it condemned them for criticizing Bud Light's association with dark wizard influencer Lord Voldemort. Bud Light and its parent company Anheuser-Busch received backlash, yada, yada, yada. We kind of all know that. Voldemort's 365 Days of Wizardhood. Partnered with them on April 1st, yada, yada, yada. However, one venue in Bloomington, Indiana has made headlines with a contradictory message calling for open conversations about the subject, yet demanding those who disagree to leave their establishment. So if you're going to agree with us, hey, come in and spew your garbage all day. But if we don't like your opinion, you can get out. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to attract a lot of new customers. I love to go to bigoted places like that and not be able to use my First Amendment rights because somebody has their panties in a bunch. And I'm sure, I don't know, I don't work in a bar. I don't frequent some bars that often. I'm sure it probably isn't. I'm sure it's a very hot topic of conversation, but this is what is currently important right now. And it's important on a major scale, not just for the beer, but for our whole country. But, okay, let's continue on here because we're going to see a little more hypocrisy from these people. Quote, "We are tired of all the hate. We are very open to debate and discussion, and it's truly a shame that we can't have open conversations about this important political and cultural topic. Well, you can't really have an open conversation about if you're going to kick people out of your bar. Bars, in our opinion, exist as public spaces where ideas should be exchanged. Again, no, apparently you don't think that because you're kicking people out of your bar. Like, unfortunately, due to all of the bigotry and hatred that has surfaced around the Bud Light controversy, any patient wanting to voice their concerns about the issue will be immediately asked to pay their bill and leave our establishment. Nothing says attracting customers like throwing them out for an opinion you don't like. Fascinating stuff, really is. The post was shared alongside an image of a similar statement saying the establishment welcomes all people, but warns that those who are intolerant should be silent about their beliefs. You don't welcome all people, or you don't welcome the First Amendment. And if you don't like the First Amendment, then you should go over to communist Russia. That's what you should do. They don't have freedom of speech. They don't have freedom of press. I don't even think they I don't know if they have freedom of religion. I'm not sure. But they don't enjoy the same freedoms because you would get thrown in the gulag. And this is obviously not as getting kicked out of a bar. I'm not going to, it's not akin to getting thrown in the gulag, obviously, but once you start doing stuff like this, it goes down a slippery slope. Quote, we are all aware of the controversy surrounding Bud Light. We support all people, blah, 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 blah. But, yada, yada, yada. We will not tolerate intolerance here. We were just dealing with a lot of hate speech and people being uncomfortable. My bartenders were aggravated and we had customers that were leaving. Well, you have more now that you're kicking them out. We're a local dive bar in southern Indiana. There's a lot of ideas that tossed around here, but I've never dealt with anything recently that was so overtly hateful. People voicing their opinion that they don't want to drink Bud Light is overtly hateful. Interesting. I actually cannot think of a more protected group of people in recent times than the LGBTQ plus IA, whatever, ABC community. And that goes along also, I guess, trans people are also in that category. I mean, let's kick it here. Women don't have the right to be in their own locker rooms anymore. Or be comfortable in their own locker rooms anyway. They don't have the right to be comfortable in their own bathrooms anymore. Yet if people speak out about something that a corporation does and we don't agree with this, well, you're a bigot. You're a transphobe. You're, I don't know, maybe a racist. I don't know. I don't know how these words are all just thrown around at this point. I think it's absolutely ludicrous how all of this stuff keeps going. How Lord Voldemort keeps getting sponsorships from people. They just got a sponsorship from Maybelline. They already have one from Nike. Already have one from Anheuser-Busch. There are a ton more. Just from, doing woman face. And I don't know when we're ever going to stand up and be like, hey, enough is enough. I think we are trying to do that, and yet YouTube is silencing anybody who mentions Voldemort's name or speaking out against dark wizards. But I'm going to keep doing it. I feel this is an important conversation. I'm going to keep bringing you all this news. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Please leave a like on the video. It helps out with the algorithm so I don't get shadow banned for talking about this stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate that. And I will catch you all in the next one. I got another story about this coming out in a little bit. And thank you for listening this long. I appreciate it. Later.